No, I just something nice behind us. So it doesn't look like
We're in a bunker.
Bunker, yeah.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay, say something. Yep, that worked.
I got my game face on.
Okay.
Your Mexico won their game against Germany.
The Krauts.
Okay.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Wait, how do I start these? Hi, this is Graham the Stickman interviewing Rick and Rose from Poster Children. The first question is, after the release of No More Songs About Sleep and Fire, was there any thought that this would be the last Poster Children album?
No, we never.
Yeah, actually, I think we thought, oddly enough, even with a baby, we would be able to go on tour and make records. We were pretty convinced that it would be nothing different. And I remember before Rose had the baby, we were at Parasol. We said, "Oh yeah, we'll put the record out, and then we'll bring the baby on tour." And everybody at the record label kind of went, "Yeah, you'll do that."
Well, there were other babies there at Parasol too.
Yeah,
and they knew.
They knew.
Having a baby is like, it's like in the Matrix when you take the red pill or the blue pill, and then all reality goes away, and it's a different reality.
Which pill is that?
I don't remember which pill it is.
I think it was the red one.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it depends on what parenthood is. Is parenthood a complete removal from reality, or is it a complete wake-up call?
Good. That'll be you to decide in the future, Graham the Stickman. I had something to say though too. I remember seeing other bands break up and and like go on hiatus and stuff, and I thought, well, that's never going to happen with us because we're a family. It's never
Yeah, I mean,
break up.
We're married, and the guitar player is our brother, my brother, and her brother-in-law. So
yeah, and our lovely drummer has been with us since 2000.
And I didn't like, and I always hated it when bands would say this was their farewell tour, their breakup tour, their last record, and everything like that. And then like 2 years later or 10 years later,
they'd run out of money and they'd be like, "Hey, let's go back on tour again. It's our revival tour."
Yeah, and so it's just there's so many bands that would say they broke up and then they would be back together in a year or two, and so we never said we broke up or we stopped making records, and we didn't. We played shows and we worked on music. So
yeah,
we didn't think it was going to be 14 years though.
Wonder if I had anything to do with that.
How old are you?
14.
It's just a coincidence.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually Graham the Stickman's birthday is coming up, right? Or when is it?
August 14th.
August 14th. We're gonna.
The Stickman's birthday.
Stickman's birthday is August 14th.
I'm having a hard time remembering who I'm talking to. Talking to a character.
Okay, this is the next question. It seems like when bands go out on anniversary tours, it always sparks a new album. Was this the case with Daisy Chain Reaction anniversary tour, or were the seeds already planted for a new Poster Children album?
I would argue that I think there are a lot of bands that don't put out new records when they go on those revival tours, and that kind of frustrates me.
So he said
that was the condition. If we were going to re-release the 25-year-old record, that we'd have to make new songs too, because I don't feel right just playing old music and not doing something new, because that's not being a creative artist. It's just being a sort of like live jukebox or something where you just play old songs for people. And even if people don't want to hear new songs, it's
nobody ever wants to hear new songs.
Yeah, and I'm like that too. When I see an old band, it's like
the Talking Heads. What? They're gonna play new stuff? What?
But actually, that was the thing. Is when we saw. I remember I saw the Psychedelic Furs and Echo and the Bunnymen, and Echo and the Bunnymen played every old song I wanted to hear. And Psychedelic Furs did not play a lot of old songs, but I enjoyed Psychedelic Furs much more
They were
than
really
Echo and the Bunnymen, which was a revelation to me, where it was like, okay, it's not just about hearing the old songs. It's also about whether or not you can play live still or look like you're having fun. In fact, the Psychedelic Furs looked like they were having a lot more fun than they did in the 80s, right? So that was
that
part
we
of it.
enjoyed. Yeah, they were like older than us, and they were playing, and we were like, wow, they look so happy. God, I had something to say too. This new record is better than a lot of the other ones too. I love this record. We've become much better songwriters since we've had you.
That's what bands always say, though. They always like the new record. So
yeah, but I've never said that until now.
that's right.
I always like the old
Rose
record.
typically says,
I
"I hate
this.
everything.
I
hate this. Oh, this new song,
I
I hate
hate
it." So yeah. So it
there
is
are quite a few songs on this record that I really, really like.
So either that's a good thing or a bad thing. So I guess if we
It's a good thing. It's good for me to like.
if
all
people
these.
like all our old records, Rose hated those every song, and now she likes all the songs on the new records. So that means that
Not
maybe
everybody
maybe it's not good.
No, not everybody likes their old records either.
That's true.
All right. Are you playing a game while you're recording this?
Now?
Dripped into his nose and he sneezed.
Oh, I've got coffee in my head.
It's what punk rock's all about.
For some
son.
reason, about 14 years ago, I started drinking coffee.
Yeah.
What's your next question?
Hippie Hills pretty much chronicles my childhood. Can you tell me the story of your Stingray? I had a sweet metallic blue one. What the hell? Like an actual Stingray? What?
It's a bike. It's a classic Schwinn bicycle with a banana seat. That's what a Stingray is.
Oh.
So I had a blue one too, so that's interesting. Troy had a blue one. I had a blue one too. I think Troy's younger, so mine was older and cooler than his. But everybody had Schwinns. I grew up in a town called Western Springs, and there was a place that they hadn't built houses yet out by the highway and we called it Hippie Hills. It was just an undeveloped area, kind of like with woods.
Were there hippies in it?
Well, I guess, I don't know why it was called Hippie Hills. I never saw a hippie there. But so this would have been in the early 70s. So that idea of like hippies was kind of going by the wayside. But it was just, yeah. So I'm sure teenagers hung out in this kind of like a wooded area before then, and it got the name Hippie Hills. But yeah, I had a Schwinn Stingray. I did not actually destroy it, but there were like these ditches, and we'd set up ramps with a piece of wood, and you'd ride your bike down this hill and hit this ramp and go flying, right? And typically you would fall off your bike. And so it didn't actually destroy a brand new Stingray, but that sounds better in a song than I went down a ramp and fell off my Stingray and felt stupid.
Okay. The next question is, you address gun violence in Devil in the Gun, which is appropriate since you're both educators and you have your own kids in school. How have school shootings changed who you are as educators and as parents? Do you think it's too late to fix the problem?
Wow, that's really upsetting, though. It's like that. It's appropriate since we're educators and we have kids. We need to talk about guns. That's the one thing that really bothers me, is that it's like we're all of a sudden on the forefront of this problem, which shouldn't be the case. It's a valid question,
Yeah.
and I think that's the scariest thing about it, is that
You would ask a gun shop owner this, right?
Right. Yeah. 50 years ago, teachers and kids, we wouldn't be talking about guns, right? You'd be talking about a war or something. And now, when somebody's a teacher and a parent or a parent, they're asked about guns, and that to me is the most disturbing thing. And
Well,
so that's the change.
How are you gonna solve this problem? Kids are bringing guns to your school. You're obviously not doing your job because kids are wanting to shoot other kids under your purview.
Do you think you should get a gun to stop gun violence?
Given guns, we've been issued guns through the Grand Bargain.
So Rose likes to joke about it. I'm not happy with that. Yeah, I have no patience with this.
But as teachers, do you think you should be issued guns to stop the gun violence in the?
What do you think?
Well, no, but
No.
I would say let's answer his question.
Knowing you, I really don't think you should have a gun.
Yeah, yeah.
Knowing you, is that what he said?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I
Um,
agree.
Yeah, no, I don't think teachers should have guns. It's not their job. And so I think there's been an abdication of responsibility in our society. And so, not to dismiss police shootings either, but it seems like we're no longer taking responsibility as individuals, right? Or as citizens in this country. We're saying anybody can have a gun. Who cares what the results are? And so then the end result is that police officers and teachers are stuck in these insane situations involving guns. And that's wrong. And it's not because the teachers have been doing something wrong, right? It's not that the teaching has been bad. It's not that the kids are doing something wrong. It's that we've decided as a society that guns are more important than safety and basic human decency and morality, right? That's the problem. And so, no, I don't think teachers should have guns. That's ridiculous. That's crazy talk. That's continuing on a path of trying to solve a problem that's really easy to solve, which is you stop selling so many guns. You stop making them as easy to get as a bottle of water.
What do you say to the people, though? You know, so I'm on Facebook with my my token Republican friend who, you know, is making. I love having the token Republican friend because he, you know, everybody else is all preaching to the choir, and then all of a sudden he'll be like, well, what about Jesus? Or, you know, he'll be like, well, he'll say something so obtuse and so right wing that I'll be like, how could you even think of that? So what I say to you is, what do you say to the people who say, but her emails and but freedom of, like, I have the right to bear arms. Why are you going to take my gun away from me? I need the freedom to have my gun. Just like I need the freedom to have an abortion, or just like I need the freedom to whatever.
We have freedom of speech, but you can't yell fire in a crowded theater, right? There's limits to every freedom. And honestly,
but it's a slippery slope.
Freedom to buy guns without any restriction. I'm not talking about getting rid of guns. I'm talking about just making it hard to do, like just as hard, at least as hard as getting a driver's license, right? Or voting, right? Yeah, at least make it that hard. That's not a restriction of rights. It is a restriction of rights if you're an absolutist, but it's not a restriction of rights. It's just an acknowledgement that
so
this is a dangerous thing.
Toughen the gun control laws.
Yeah.
So we don't have to like teach the Common Core and protect our students from the other students shooting them.
Yeah. It's a simple problem with a simple solution that's been convoluted by people who are willing to sacrifice children's lives, other people's lives, in order to maintain an arsenal of guns and ease of purchasing guns.
And you should also talk about, it's not like everybody has guns. There's like a small amount, it's a small segment of the population that owns like all the guns, just like a small segment.
I would even argue that a lot of those people who own the guns have no problems with increased restrictions. It's just a very specific lobbyist group, which is the NRA, which turned from a gun safety organization into a crazy lobbyist group for gun manufacturers in order to make it easier to buy guns and to turn it into some kind of First Amendment. They're going to take away all our Second Amendment rights, but also First Amendment rights. Oh, this is a slippery slope kind of thing. And that's what's going on. It's nothing to do with basic decency. And it's a small minority. It's the same problem we're having everywhere, where these small minorities of people who are rich, powerful, or operating in their own interests without the interests of the better good and the whole population as a whole, they are making decisions and forming policy and actively shifting the priorities of our country to benefit them. So if you make guns, you want more people to have guns. And so that closed-mindedness where it's like, it doesn't matter what happens, we'll do anything to sell more guns. And if you have that attitude, that's wrong. And that's what politics and discussion and rational discussion was supposed to be for, is to say, well, wait a minute. Yeah, we understand you want to sell as many guns as you can, but we also have to make sure that children don't walk into a school and shoot each other, that we don't turn our cities into war zones and everything like that, because even though that's good for business, it's not good for the country as a whole.
There's also
right?
a lot of blame being placed on teachers. There's a lot of teacher hate in this society. There's a lot of like, and I'm trying to, right? And so just saying, oh,
I think that's a different problem, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the gun thing kind of gets mixed up with it because now we have school shootings.
Right, and that now, you know, so I mean, because you know, this could be construed as we don't want to protect the children in the school or their students.
I do. I want to do it in a way that's more logical and historical, which is you make schools safe places. You make towns and cities and communities safe places. You don't make them places where everyone has a gun and has to defend themselves and be armed in order to be safe. That's not how you make a safe community.
But Switzerland.
That's crazy. I don't. Yeah, Switzerland has problems. Also, Switzerland is a super white, you know, generic country where everyone looks the same and acts the same and has the same ideas.
Oh,
See, that sounds. Yeah, it's, and on top of it, the people who have the guns, they need to do training on them in military service, and they lock them up in their houses. It's a completely different situation. Switzerland is not the wild, wild west. It's a ancient, you know, monolithic, you know, European country with, yeah, it's incomparable to the diversity of the United States and the history of it. It's not comparable.
Are you scared of school shootings? Is that something that's on your, like, you think about that every day, or like, would you be somebody who would shoot up a school? What, where?
No.
That's an awful question.
I know.
No, but the question, what about, do you think about it though? Do you think about the possibility of someone doing that in your school?
There was a drill.
Yeah. So that's the thing, is I don't think I ever did that, right? I don't think I ever thought to myself, what could I do if someone came into this school with a gun? I never had to think about that.
Practice duck and cover though.
I didn't practice duck. We didn't do duck and cover. You did, maybe. Yeah, so when we were little kids, they were worried about atomic bombs, nuclear weapons being dropped on like Chicago, for instance. And so you'd have these drills.
There was a song called Duck and Cover, which we should cover.
And you would learn how to hide under your desk. You wouldn't get annihilated.
Okay, next question.
That one for Reggie.
After all these years of music, being parents, becoming professors, what keeps you fighting the good fight of DIY music and art? Where does that fire come from?
We see people making mistakes all around us. We are control freaks, right?
Well, what keeps you going?
I see other, actually, yeah, I shouldn't have said I see other mistakes. You know, I see other stuff, and it just totally inspires me. You know, look at what that person's doing. Look at what this person's doing. I love this. I want to make that myself. I mean, we've gone from, like, you know, driving our own van around and touring and stuff to like making our own, you know, bread and you know, I'm like trying to make my own clothes and stuff, right? So I love the idea. You know, I would love to be able to have a vegetable garden too. You know, we've done that every couple of years, but this year we're going to go on tour. So I just love the idea of playing God. You know, I love the idea of being the person who's made something. So I
being a creator.
Yeah, making our own yogurt and stuff, right? I mean,
and honestly, it's easier to be a musician when you have another job, and then teaching is a fulfilling job. It doesn't pay a lot, but you feel like you're doing something. And I've had other jobs which are great, and I get stuff done, and I feel good that I got something done, but you don't necessarily see what your direct impact is. Whereas with teaching, you feel a direct impact. If somebody doesn't understand something, you feel like, oh, I haven't done something. And if somebody does something good, you think, oh, well, maybe I had something to do with that. And so you get that. And so it's easier to do this stuff when it's rewarding. And so music, playing and everything like that, that's fun. It's fun to write songs and to play shows and everything like that. It's hard to be a musician and try to make a living at it, which we did for a long time, and it was great, and we had fun, but it's hard to do that for 30 or 40 or 50 years.
Anything creative.
But it's great to be a teacher, and you get a lot of the same rewards. It's kind of like having an audience. You have students, and then on top of it, it gives you time on your summers to do music and everything like that,
And
do creative work.
When we see the things that our children create, our hearts sing.
Cool. Okay, this is the last one. This isn't really a question, but I feel like the opening line to World's Insane is one of the best lines you've ever written.
Wow.
I can think of others that I love too. I'm constantly in awe of your lyrics.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is, it just kind of happened. I didn't. Things fall out, and so that's just that idea of using religion to justify hate and discrimination, violence, and everything like that. That really disturbs me, and so. Yeah, I'm glad I could consolidate that in or condense that down into one line. It just worked out. And so, yeah, and I don't even understand how the Klan can use a cross and light it. It's such a complex thing, right? They light a cross on fire, right? So a symbol of Christianity, and they light it on fire, and that's meant to be Christian, right? But then also horribly racist or discriminatory, and all those things mixed together. I think that just represents everything that's wrong with people using their faith to justify their hate and their discrimination and everything like that.
This is happening right now, right? The children being taken away from their parents at the borders, and then we have our government citing the Bible as well. It says that you can do this in the Bible. And I finally heard, and I'm looking at these shots of these babies crying, and I can't, I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to think. And then I heard somebody say that, it's just a testament to how amazing the Bible is. You can use it to kill people. You can use it to divide. You can use it to unite. I haven't really seen it.
It's a powerful thing, and that's the thing is it was Christianity was the faith of or a movement of slaves and women and all sorts of people who are discriminating against, but it's also been used as a tool against women and as a tool to endorse slavery, right, and to justify slavery. So that it's a complex thing, and so it's also it says that just because someone says they're a person of faith or they're Christian or just religious, you can't take them on their word alone, right? You have to look at their actions, and that's what disturbs me most is when people actually believe. They start getting confused and they start thinking, well, because I can justify this through my religion, that my actions have no meaning, even if my faith tells me not to kill, it's okay to kill. I found a way to rationalize it, and people don't step back and go, wait a minute, that's a contradiction. I'm probably misunderstanding. Instead they say, you don't understand. You're the one who's wrong. Because this is my faith, I'm right. And that frightens me because I feel like your faith, your religion, your whatever spirituality you have is supposed to be towards the common good. It's not for justifying individual flaws or incorrect worldviews.
Well, you draw a line somewhere, though. Christians draw a line between the common good. Like I used to say, well, you're not. If it says, and Jews too, it says in the Bible, "Thou shalt not kill." How are people eating animals then? And you say, well, that's not. That's there's a line.
There's an interpretation for everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But I think we're in an extreme time. I think some people are using their faith to justify very extreme ideas, and that's always disturbing.
But it's something that we teach it's something that we teach in college, that the more abstract ideas can be very powerful. The more abstract a dialogue or a presentation is, the more powerful it can be, because people can mold it and turn it into something that they can use against
Yeah,
other
well,
people.
you want to abstract things so they communicate universally, but you don't want to abstract them to the point that people lose all kind of perspective on how to treat each other, I guess, properly. Got any last minute questions for us, Graham the Stickman?
Graham questions?
No.
No, you should think of something though. Think of something. Give us one question.
It's okay.
No, let him think. He's brilliant. Should be able to come up with
Is he?
something.
No, not that. Is he brilliant? Is he thinking, or is he
Oh no, I was playing Dying Light.
like? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
can't you?
saying.
I mean, can you want to come up with something? Because you're the only person who's interviewing us that came out of us. Okay.
All right. Well, you should say some kind of closing thing, though.
Bye. Thanks, Troy and Michael, for giving me the opportunity to do this interview. And thank you for doing the interview.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
It was great talking to you.
Take care.
Stay sticky.
What?
Yeah, actually, stay sticky, Graham the Stickman. You are a
That should be your T-shirt. Stay sticky.
No, the T-shirt is gonna say. I'm actually working on the T-shirt right now. It says the hero we don't want, the hero we don't need, the hero we deserve.
Can on the back can it say stay sticky?
No.
All right. Thank you very much, son. Do you want to go to the pool with us?
No.
I'm not going either. Do I look like Doge?
Yeah. Outtakes. Interview outtakes.